grand day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to another exciting show here today. It is September 10th. It's a beautiful Friday live here at FX Studios here at K.L.P Entertainment. We're back for another exciting podcast here for you guys today. Not only that we are recording and we sound excellent T as always, but we're looking into the camera, guys, because we are back in front of the cameras. You guys love last week's episode as we talked about so many great things for the show. So we wanted to come back for the camera and we wanted to record for you guys for this fantastic podcast on air with your host, the creative one, the swanky one, K.L.P. So hopefully you guys are ready for another exciting epic show here today. We've got a lot we need to talk about, y'all, because there's just so much going on here at K.L.P Entertainment that you guys don't want to miss. Of course, please be sure to check it out right now. The Black Code. It is available right now on YouTube and Daily Motion at K.L.P Entertainment. That is the latest show that we're premiering and we're producing for you guys out there. Let me tell you, the show is fantastic. You know, we've been doing the show we've done 4 episodes before, but then we had to cancel it and then open it back up, and we did some remodeling and some redoing, and the studio's putting some different touches on it. And of course, Video Hive LTD, the engine has been performing well on it. So you guys you don't want to miss it. 2 episodes are available right now on YouTube and Daily Motion at K.L.P Entertainment, as well as our latest film, Hardline, is still available for YouTube and Daily Motion. And of course, we're looking at some things. We're ready for the nominations to come in, y'all. We're still waiting on that email. T, he's over there in the sound booth. We wait, man. He's really is. We're ecstatic, but we're ready and we're willing to wait for that nomination to see if we won for Best Picture. Best Feature. So I'm very excited for that. And it's all thanks to you guys. You guys made this thing possible. And, you know, I've been so ecstatic before, but, you know, the movies we're doing, the shows we're doing, you know, you guys have been fantastic and you guys been enjoying our journey thus far. Now, before we get onto the topic of conversation, because everyone's talking about it, I'm going to talk about it obviously on the podcast, but I wanted to also announce, if you guys don't follow me on social media, whether that's Facebook and or Instagram, don't know what you're waiting on, I would recommend you guys follow me right now on YouTube, on Instagram and Facebook, because we just announced our newest podcast show, of course, K.L.P Aftermath, the podcast show. So hopefully you guys are ready for that brand spanking new podcast. I'm super excited for it because it'll be live from Emory. You guys know the latest announcements of our new employment, if you will, at Emory University here in Atlanta. So very excited to be working with the college and the university, but I'm excited to be doing a podcast because, you know, the podcast show is going to be kind of like On Air with K.L.P, but a little bit different, a little bit of a twist to it, a little bit relating to us as younger, I can't say college kid because I'm not a college kid anymore, I'm graduated, but us younger folks that are in some sort of degree field, or you're working for education, you're working for a university, that's what the show is going to be about. It's about me getting a little bit more personal on certain things, but also allowing some trendy topics here in Atlanta and all over the world. So I am praying that this show will be kicked off really, really strong, and I hope that you guys enjoy this show. The first episode is going to be premiered on September 13th. That is going to be a Monday, at some point on Monday. Don't have a time limit for you guys on what time the show will be premiered, but just know on Monday, September 13th, K.L.P Aftermath podcast will be available for both radio stations, of course, live 94.6 The Grizz, and also our home base of Swanky 93.3, the radio station. So let's get on to the meat and potatoes of the show. You guys are ready for it. I am ecstatic for it because it's time to talk a little bit about gaming. Of course, we have something trendy to talk to you guys that's not gaming related later on in the podcast, but we all seen it, T. And shout out to T, y'all. He's make sure we sound real good. You know, thanks, T. Appreciate it. Yes, it's time to talk about it. It's time to talk about the PlayStation Showcase. I watched the about an hour long streaming showcase. It was fantastic. Let me tell you all about it. The PlayStation Showcase 2021, they're premiering some games that are coming out later up in the future, just to make sure that we have something that we can look forward to. This was a bittersweet moment because it's PlayStation. PlayStation is a console that I adore the most. I love. I can't say I love it the most, really, as I recant that statement, because I do have an Xbox, I do have Nintendo Switch. I do play those too. I like all console gaming consoles, whether that's PlayStation, whether it's Xbox, whether it's Nintendo. I like it all. So I don't have a favorite. I don't believe in the whole console wars. I know a lot of people believe in the console wars, thinking, oh, PlayStation is better than Xbox. Oh, Xbox is better than PlayStation. Xbox is better than Nintendo. Nintendo's better than PC. I don't believe in the console wars. I just like what I like. So, of course, the PlayStation Showcase 2021. And I'm just going to announce the biggest announcements from this 40-minute stream show. There's a lot that went on into this show, but here on the podcast, I just wanted to talk about the biggest announcements that I've got super excited for. It's a bittersweet moment because these great games are coming out, and I can see that PlayStation is shifting towards the PlayStation 5 era within this current generation of PS5 and Xbox Series. So it's interesting that PlayStation is moving into this dynamic. I saw, and I'll go ahead and just say it before we get onto the games there. Some of the games are coming out in 2022. Some games are even coming out in 2023. So I do predict that this is a good time limit for these games to come out because, you know, no one can get their hands on a PS5 right now. No one, unless you are a YouTube star, unless you're rich, unless you're a YouTube star, unless you're getting sponsored, you can't get your hands on a PlayStation 5. I actually do have two friends that's fortunate. They got their hands on a PlayStation 5. Don't know how they did it. I asked them, how did you do it? Because when I tried to pick one up, they were out of stock. So I don't know how they do it. They have some way of doing it. I don't know. But the PlayStation 5 is hard for us to get around nowadays, unfortunately, due to the chip shortage, and this goes for both PlayStation and Xbox. So it's hard to get these kind of consoles because they're not available. So it's good to see that these games are coming out in 2022, 2023, because by 2023, I should have a PlayStation 5 in my living room in my house. So hopefully that happens. Don't know. You know, we just do, we play with what we got, you know? So Spider-Man 2, of course, obviously that was the biggest announcements of them all. Spider-Man 2, they introduced in the trailer. Trailer was good, captured by the PlayStation 5 image. And of course, let me tell you, Insomniac Games, they've been doing some really awesome stuff. Of course, if you guys didn't know about it, Ratchet and Clank is an Insomniac Games. And let me tell you, just the opening up for that game in general has been really, really good. It's been populated really, really well for Ratchet and Clank. So I'm very proud that Insomniac Games is coming out with some newer gameplays and newer games to come out to help their stigma go on for a long time, because you know you can get it now, available right now, Ratchet and Clank, if you got a PlayStation 5. So, and I heard that game's good. So hopefully I get to play the game later in the future. But Spider-Man 2 was the biggest announcement for Sony's PlayStation Showcase. Newest games, a 40-minute stream play. And of course, we saw Spider-Man 2. We had Miles Morales and Peter Parker, and the introductory of Venom, of course. And I think this is a great time for Venom to kind of make his appearance into the game, because we do have that second Venom movie coming out very soon. So it's a great market play for PlayStation and Marvel. Very, very excited for that. Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man Miles Morales, played both, beat both, have both. They're fantastic. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you haven't, and I'm pretty sure everyone around the world has picked up Spider-Man or even Spider-Man Miles Morales, but if you haven't played both, you need to get those today, because you don't want to miss out on that game. That game is fantastic. Spider-Man came out in 2018, and I want to say Spider-Man Miles Morales came out in 2019, I believe, Christmas time 2019. So I'm very excited for Spider-Man 2 to come out. Knights of the Old Republic. Okay, we don't have licensing to play that commercial, but Knights of the Old Republic makes PlayStation debut as a remake. Don't really know too much about that, as these trailers they're trying to play these trailers on our notes here, and I can't play these trailers because I don't think I'm authorized for the podcast. But Knights of the Old Republic, I haven't played the first one, so I wouldn't really know too much about that game in particular, but it is a Lucasfilms games, and Lucasfilms games, they've made some really dope video games out of Star Wars. So I'm very excited by that. Now, this was the game that I was extremely surprised. And again, Insomniac Games is really doing really well because you have the success of the Spider-Man games, you have the success of the newest Ratchet and Clank game available for PlayStation 5, and this next Insomniac Games, they're bringing back a classic, and I do say one of my favorite X-Men characters. If you guys don't know about it, Insomniac Games is making a Wolverine game, and I'm blown away. I am ecstatic about this. This was a complete surprise by many gamers out there who watched the show. We had no idea that this was something Insomniac Games was working on. So Marvel's Wolverine will be making a great experience for PlayStation, and it's fantastic. Of course, this is a wicked curveball, fresh off the success of Spider-Man's, the first Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales. Sony's Insomniac Game Studios is working on an adventure dedicated to Wolverine, everyone's favorite and deadliest X-Men. Got a minute-long tease showing him nursing a brown liquor inside a bar. He had no doubt he was responsible for trashing, but wait, if Insomniac is working on the Wolverine game, what about? And then that's just how that's the notes there. I am ecstatic. Wolverine gets his own video game. Wolverine has his own video game before. The X-Men Origins game, they made that into a game. So he had his own video game before. And then, of course, the Wolverine character has been in many X-Men video games. But Wolverine gets his own standalone video game, that's gonna sell. I can bet you $100 today, fans, that game will definitely sell in today's market because that is a high anticipated game. Now, we don't know the release date. They didn't kind of give us a release date. They just kind of gave us what they're working on. So I say to Insomniac Games, work as many hours as you need on this game, because let me tell you, this game is highly anticipated, and this is a game you do not want to rush. And then I've talked about it in many podcasts before, games that are highly anticipated, they tend to get a little rushed, right? So they get rushed, and once they get rushed, it doesn't turn out right. And then case in point, CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077, a highly anticipated game, got rushed into market, and now no one's buying it because it flopped. So I have no doubts that Insomniac will flop this game, but this is a highly anticipated game. Here's my thoughts about that game, what I like to see. I like to see more characters from the X-Men franchise in this game. I like to see some sort of Cyclops in this game. I like to see Gambit in this game. He's another favorite X-Men character of mine. I would like to see the X-Men make some sort of appearance into this game, whether if you get to play as the characters or not. That's one thing I would like to see in this game. I don't know the intentions of it because the game is labeled Wolverine, but it would have been cool if Insomniac said, okay, let's just make an X-Men game and dedicating all the X-Men characters into this game of some sort. I think this will sell a lot. I really do. But the title is Wolverine, and I think Wolverine's the highest market right now when it comes to the X-Men characters. So, a lot of games, a lot of studios, and here at K.L.P Entertainment, we rely on our studios too. I understand that market really well. I understand that they're advocating to their market. They're staying up with their key market and what will sell them the most bucks. So, of course, God of War Ragnarok, we finally get to see some trailers for that. Let me tell you, I'm excited for this, and this is a game that I think this is the last game that's going to be dedicated for PlayStation 4. So I say to all my PlayStation fans, get ready, because this might be the last game that we're going to see for our PlayStation 4 consoles if you don't have a PlayStation 5 console yet, because this game will be available for PlayStation 4. Of course, they're going to say get it for PlayStation 5, or they might say get it and we'll upgrade you to PlayStation 5 when you get it. Yes, I would love to play this game on PlayStation 5. Don't get me wrong. Don't have one yet. Probably won't have one till next year because they're all sold out. This game is highly anticipated too because you get to see Kratos and, of course, Atreus. Now that the boy Atreus, he's growing up. He's he hit puberty in this game. Like I don't even think that's the same actor that played the little boy in the first one. I think that's a completely different actor. Could be the same actor, don't know. But the boy, Terry's, he grew up. He grew up. He sounds like a man, like a young man. So it's kind of refreshing that video game characters that we know and love and we played, they grew up, and then you get a different actor, and then you get to see a different perspective of the character. So it's very interesting. And I watched after the panel. I did watch because they had two speakers talking about the game, and it's interesting. And it's kind of something we do here at K.L.P Entertainment. Not trying to compare us, because Santa Monica Studios, they're up here. We're here. They're up there. So it's very interesting that the studios let directors direct different things, and that's something we do here at K.L.P Entertainment. Tongue twister T, you know. Is that we have our staff members direct different things. If you guys notice our shows and TV shows and movies, some of the movies I may not be directing. I'm just the executive producer. Same thing goes with our shows. So it's very interesting that Santa Monica is allowing a different director's spin on this, because it that interests me, because you're allowing a different director, different creative come in and tell their version of a story. And that's something here at K.L.P Entertainment we love doing to our directors. So I'm very excited for that. Gameplay looks very, very solid. Looks like the game is finished. It kind of reminds me of the first one, obviously. I mean, it's the origin of the first one. They probably tweaked some things here and there, different story. Again, it's going to be available for PlayStation 4 and 5 starting, I think, the beginning of next year. So this will be a game that I will be picking up because I'm a huge God of War fan. I'm excited to see the storyline of it, of how this articulates into the next genre of God of War. Do I think this is going to be the final God of War game they're making? Probably not. This game, God of War Ragnarok, probably will be the last game for PlayStation 4. And then as PlayStation 5 rolls around, they're going to make some different games creators for that. So I'm not worried about the God of War franchise. I am worried about, this is the last PlayStation 4 game that you can pick up that's new. Unfortunately, but it is what it is. Of course, GTA 5, I'm going to skip this segment, T. T wanted me to talk about this because T, he loves Grand Theft Auto, and I do too. I just think, here's what I think about GTA 5. These remasters. I think GTA 5 is tired. It came out in 2013, and we are about, 8 years since the first ever patch version of GTA 5. We're 8 years later, and they're still working on it. They're still retweaking it, they're still remastering it, and this is the joke we say to our friend, our directors and producers here in the studio, and T knows about this, but this game lasted so many generations, y'all. Of course, you had it for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, down to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, now to did I mention PlayStation 4 and Xbox? Yeah, I did. And now you got it again for Xbox Series and PlayStation 5. So, how many generations does this game have? They're beating this game. Like they're beating the dead horse with it. And this game is great. Don't get me wrong. It's a most recognizable franchise out there from Rockstar's. But how many ports you want to do? How many updates you doing? How many generations you're gonna? I'm scared when the PlayStation 6 and Xbox 420, whatever that is, I'm scared when that comes out later in the future, they're still gonna try to be like GTA 5 now available on this console. So I just think GTA is a little bit tired. I'm ready for GTA 6 to come out. We're all ready for the unannounced Grand Theft Auto 6 game to come out, so that way they can leave GTA 5 alone. GTA 5 is a great game. They worked really hard on this, but it's time for something new. Rockstars, if you're listening or watching the podcast, Rockstar Games, it's time for something new. It's the same thing. And then, of course, Uncharted, Legacy of Thieves, the collection, also get remastered on PlayStation 5 early 2022. Again, T, I'm skipping this segment, man. I'm sorry. But, again, Uncharted is a great game, right? But, been there, done that, And it's a good way for the companies to make their quotas and to really make some money off of stuff. been there, done it. It's not going to be the same. I mean, maybe they're tweaking some things, maybe they're fixing some things, but been there, done it, tired. Gran Turismo 7 will be coming out in March of 2022. Haven't been a racing fan that much. I'm a Forza guy. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are going to get upset with me right now. Gran Turismo is a good game, but I'm a Forza guy, so I prefer Forza when it comes to the games here. And that's pretty much about it. As videos start to play, that's pretty much it from the announcement. I don't really go to the indie games, of course. Deathloop doesn't really sound interesting to me. So and Tatia, I think Tatia, I don't know how to pronounce that game. That game also got announced. Of course, with these press conferences, they try to fill in great games that we are ready for, but then they try to plug in these little indie games that just doesn't appeal to me. Sorry, but it don't. So it is what it is, but I really do hope those games really do sell, those independent games. So let me know what you think about the showcase. Did you enjoy it? I did. I just hope I can get a PlayStation 5 in my living room one day. That's why I'm like, I ain't got the console, so it's not going to really benefit me much. But some of these games are coming out in 2022 and 2023, so maybe the consoles will be back in stock to where we can get a console, so we can actually review it for you guys in the podcast. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about music, artists out there doing their thing. Stay tuned on Under Air with your host, K.L.P. Stay tuned. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, back on the show On Air with your host, K.L.P. Please be sure to stay tuned on Monday, September 13th. That day, we're going to be premiering our first podcast episode of K.L.P Aftermath, the podcast show live from memory. I can't wait for that show. Let me tell you, we've been doing a lot of marketing. We've done the logo well. We've done the music well. We're working on it. So I can't wait for that new podcast so you guys can really enjoy that show and really get into it. Now, I'm here to talk about artists out there today. Artists, actors, singers, but we're mostly talking about singers out there today. I watched something in the studio, in the office, where before we come to the studio to record a podcast, I try to find topics to talk about, obviously, and there's two singers that really change the outlook, and these two singers are going solo. I've been solo before, and you guys don't know, I am an artist myself. I'm a part of a band called Swanky Aura. That is a great band here from Swanky Records that we premiered our latest album, Coffee. If you guys didn't listen to Coffee yet, please go check it out. It's available right now on SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music, and Audible, and iTunes as well. Coffee, great album. I've been solo, right? I've made music solo, but I like doing things in a group. Of course, we got Swanky Aura with Coffee. Of course, if you guys didn't know, me and DJ Lupizzi were working on another album for Scarlet. It's been announced before. But I've been a solo artist, and sometimes it's risky to go solo. If you guys don't know, a lot of groups or bands, they break up and they go solo. Of course, I can name one off the bat. Of course, you had the Jonas Brothers. They were a group, and they went their separate ways, and then they're kind of getting back together, I guess. You have Camila Cabello, just to bring her out too, because her recent movie from Amazon, Cinderella, haven't seen it, probably won't see it. She was part of Fifth Harmony until they broke up, and I love Fifth Harmony. I have them on the playlist Swanky Spotify by K.L.P Entertainment. Check out the new logo, by the way, y'all. Just a little shameless plug for you guys out there. So, of course, these two singers, I watched their newest music today, and their music is fire. Of course, the first singer that I'm going to bring up, of course, is Lisa from Blackpink. If you guys don't know Blackpink, they are amazing. Let me tell you, Blackpink is really amazing. They really struck out when they first came out, and they thought they were, they were they were it, and I'm speechless, T. I can barely say my words out here on the podcast, because Blackpink was that group where everyone knew who that group was from K-pop. Everyone knew who Blackpink was, and still are today. And it's really cool to see that the band, they're kind of together, but they're doing their own projects. Of course, the whole solo with them kind of started when Jennie went solo for her new song called Running Solo. So she went solo. She did something by herself just to see how it did. It responded really well, and she's doing a lot of modeling gigs. I follow, and truth be told, T, I'm a huge K-pop star. And for my Live 94.6 students out there, if you're listening, yes, Kennedy is a huge K-pop guy. I am a K-pop fanatic. I love K-pop. I love anything that has to do with the Korean culture. I love. K-pop is one of those things that I like to do. Tomorrow, shout out to the Mafia. We going out to K Factory here in Atlanta tomorrow. Can't wait. So excited because it's Korean barbecue. If you guys don't know, I'm a Korean barbecue guy too. So if you haven't had a little taste of Korean barbecue, I suggest you do that because it's really, really good. You're paying some money for it, but I really enjoy going to Korean barbecue spots. So K Factory, we're going out there tomorrow, and I cannot wait for that. But back to what I'm saying, T. See, I'm thinking about food. I must be hungry. I'm thinking about food now. Of course, Jennie went solo before, and it worked, right? You had Rosé. That was the next member to go solo. She has the latest song that came out, and she's doing her thing. She's gotten a lot of buzz. And one thing I learned about the Korean culture and music and the business is when you go solo, you're able to get many views for your brand, for your label, and actually for the group. It helps the group up in a way, if you think about it. Here in America, we think about when you go solo, right? You go solo within your group, and you think about yourself, and that's it. It doesn't help the band, it doesn't help the group. But one thing I noticed about K-pop and Korean music industry is when they go solo, it helps both the label, money management, and the group. And I think with Blackpink going solo, doing their own little solo projects, it really helped that niche, and it really helped. So the next person after Jennie, after Rosé, some people call her Rose, which is weird, T. They say Rose, and I say, some of my friends like, oh, you mean Rose? No, it's Rosé. That's how you pronounce the name. It's Rosé. That's her name. See, I'm a fanatic, y'all. You got to get the name right. You got to get the name right, T. I had some members here that say Rose too, and I'm like, Rosé. So, of course, the next person to go solo after Rosé was Lisa. Of course, Lisa from Blackpink. Of course, she is the next person to go solo, and let me tell you, she's doing it. She's really doing her thing because she acts. She's been in the Korean drama before. She dances, and let me tell you, Lisa from Blackpink, she can dance. She can dance better than some of these people over here in America. So she can really get it done and start dancing. She was a dance instructor. I've seen the videos on YouTube. On their YouTube, she's a mentor to a lot of inspiring Korean cultures that's ready to get out there in the music idol industry. She's a dance mentor, so she does it all. And let me tell you, her new song, okay, and this is the purpose of the segment here. New song is available right now, pretty much everywhere, called Lisa. And let me tell you, I listened to it. In my office, I listened to it because I knew I was going to talk about it on today's show. I listened to it, and let me tell you, girl's fire. The girl is fire. She is singing, she's dancing, and she's spitting bars. I think, honestly, Lisa from Blackpink has the hardest bars I've ever heard in the industry so far. And I've heard rappers spit bars and rap and stay on tune. But let me tell you, Lisa, her newest song, Lisa, available now pretty much everywhere. Spotify, YouTube, probably Amazon Music, Desert. Her bars was very fluid, and she's spitting the bars. I just never thought, because I knew Lisa could rap, and I knew some of the songs where she's rapping, she's doing a little cutesy little rap, she's doing, kind of a melody to it, but she had a whole length bar that she just spit in this song, and I was like, oh, and I was just, and I was like, I kind of, I'm sorry for my Live 94.6 fans, I kind of cuss a little bit when I was listening, because I just wasn't expecting. I'm not going to say that here on today's show, because we're a PG show now, but I was just like, whoa, okay, I'm rocking with you, oh, okay, all right, and then these little dances she was doing, girl, you got it, it's yours, take all my money. So again, Lisa, congrats if she's probably not watching or hearing us right now, but I'm glad for the Blackpink members to go solo. I think Jisoo is going to be the next person that needs to go solo at some point. Whatever it is she's trying to do for her solo thing, I think she should go solo as well. Do I think that they should go solo and stay solo? Probably not, because they are a unit, they are a group. So, and that's one thing Korean culture they make the most money out of is the idol group. You got to stay as a group because that's the market. So I don't see them staying solo, but then again, it could change. It could really change. The next singer, and I apologize for my live 94.6 fans, because I know this is, well, I say that we're a PG show, but I really just have students, young adults listening to the show. So I mean, I can't cuss, but some things like this I like to talk to my students about. And this is what K.L.P Aftermath Live from Memory is going to be about. It's me relating to the students, young adults, like me. I'm not a student, as you guys can see in the video here. My degree's in the office right here. Actually, right over there. But I'm trying to relate to our younger audiences because that's our market, right? The next artist to go solo, and I saw her video today. This video was a little bit more, if you will, risque, but it sells, right? Chloe, of course, Halle and Chloe, they are a dynamic duo. They've done some amazing work together. Their latest album was fantastic. The first album was good. They were very spiritual with it, and it was cute. But that second album they did, it's a little, yeah, it's a little spicy, if you will. So of course Chloe is the next person to go solo from Chloe and Halle, and it's a good thing too, because this song is called Have Mercy, and viewer discretion is advised to all of the younger kids out there that like Chloe and Halle. Please, if viewer discretion advised. I think they cater to more of the teens, so it's good. It's appropriate for teens to watch the video, or the music's not that bad. I mean, it's not this, she doesn't cuss a lot in this. Well, she barely cuss in this music, but the music video is a little bit risque, if you will. So please, viewer discretion is advised for the video, for the younger audiences. But I can see them staying solo. And Chloe and Halle, they're a dynamic duo. They made their money. They made their mark, right? Chloe is capitalizing on her solo project, which is great for her because of Grownish. Grownish is this hit show available from Freeform. If you have cable, Freeform. If you have it the next day later on Hulu. That's how I do it in my house. I watch Grownish from my house on Hulu. I don't have any cable in my house. So I think Chloe going solo really helps. It goes a long way with her, because now she's able to capitalize on going solo and really marketing herself out for Grownish, and she's having that brand. So I think it suits her well. The music, Have Mercy, is very catchy. I listened to that song also in the office today, this morning, and I was vibing, I was dancing. That music was fantastic. It was very the video was very risque, so viewer discretion is advised to my younger audiences out there, but it was very catchy, and it's about time that Chloe and Halle get a little bit more catering to the audiences, if you will. I'm trying to be respectful about it, and that song really does capture the eyes of younger audiences. And I think, and this is the marketing student in me, because you guys know I graduated from college for the business degree in marketing. It really caters to her too, because now she's targeting the audiences of the young audiences that also listens to Sweetie or Nicki Minaj or Megan Thee Stallion, so, or the City Girls. So they're really, that's the market. That's the market that's going to sell. That's the market that people are interested in, especially Megan Thee Stallion. That is the market, and along with Cardi B as well. So now Chloe says, okay, that's it. They're selling, and they're making not only some good money, but they're really relating to the audiences and their fan base. Chloe says, let me do that as well, because if they can do it, I can do it. So it really resonates well when it comes to the market, and the audiences are trying to relate to the market, and it's something very spicy. And one thing I learned about us, us music lovers, us artists, and us being fanatics of the arts is it's art, but we love spiciness of it. We love being excited. We love being in our tip of our toes to see what's gonna happen next. When it comes to music videos, down to movies, down to TV shows, down to the artist singing their song, we want to be on the edge of our seats and say, what's gonna happen next? What new thing can they bring for us to be so excited and for this to be spicy? And honestly, Chloe, if you're somehow listening to the show or watching me, girl, Have Mercy, your new song, that's spicy. That's very, 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 very spicy, and I like that, and I want to see more of it because you're relating to the audiences. You're not using the formula of Chloe and Halle, you know, the sweethearts. You're getting a little bit more risque. You're getting a little bit more interesting. You're getting a little bit more buzz, if you will, within your market, and that's what us creatives, we love to see. Let me tell you, that music video was fantastic too. I enjoyed the music video. They really done some really great work when it comes to music performance and really art. They're really creating that art, and I love it to death. I really do. So congratulations to Lisa from Blackpink for her new single, and of course Chloe from her new single as well. So ecstatic for it. I can't wait for their future. They're probably not even watching the show, T, but it's always good to get that mention in just a little bit for sure. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're gonna give you guys, these youngsters, a little tip on how to stay safe out there in the universe. Stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on air with your host K.L.P. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Man, I've been enjoying this show. This show has been good. I can't wait for you guys to tune in for K.L.P Aftermath on Monday, because, you know, a different environment. We're going to really talk about some conversations on that show on Monday, so I cannot wait for that. T, you ever just noticed, and we were laughing about it today, y'all, as I look into the camera and to the microphone. We actually talked about it today because me and T, we live away from our offices, and you know we live in areas that are very, very nice. Can't tell you the county, can't tell you where in Atlanta, just because I don't want people stalking us, really. But we live in a very nice community where you see a lot of young kids that they're going back to school, and I noticed that a lot of kids are very it's very interesting. A lot of kids are very sad when they get on the bus. They just look very, very depressed, like they're going somewhere hard, like a day job or something. And I'm driving out the neighborhood, getting ready to come to the office, and I see the kids, and because you know it's the law, when you're behind a bus, obviously you got to stop for the bus and let the kids get on. And kids, they mope when they get on the bus. They look like they're going to go do some hard time. I don't understand because, well, I kind of do understand because when I was a kid, this feels like a decade ago because I can't remember the last time I rode a bus, or school bus rather. But kids, they get on there and they look like, oh my God, I'm about to have the worst day ever. And I'm in my car getting ready to go to the office and go to a job. And I'm saying, man, y'all don't know, do you? Y'all think y'all stressed by getting on this bus going to grade school? Just wait until you get out here in this real world. And I sound old just by saying that. But it is true because now that I'm an adult and I hop in my car and I have my cup of coffee in hand, and some days I just don't be wanting to go to work, but I got to, right? These kids think they just going to go do hard time. Honestly, kids, you're not going to, school is just school. Wait until you get out here in the real world. I know I sound like an old man right now, but it is true when they say just wait until you get a little bit older and you start paying your bills and your car note and your phone bill and your power bill. Then you understand hard times. You really do. So again, not to sound like an old person, not trying to sound like my parents or anything like that. It is true though. It is very, very true. So the purpose of this last segment is because a lot of kids are going back to school and they want people to be very, very safe on how they post. Of course, from Fox News, of course, a 2-snapshot Facebook post shows Officer Creighton holding a poster. And this was I don't know what county this was in, but he's a sheriff. The poster title, my first day of school, with the left side sharing mocking interviews such as name, age, grade, teacher, name of the school that you are attending, and then the right image shows those personal details blurred out. This was a great tip from the officer because a lot of people are there's a lot of predators out there, and I encourage everyone to be very safe about what you put online. I'm guilty of it. I'll come out on the show. I'm very guilty about what I put online because sometimes I post things on Facebook. I post things on Facebook because I want people to be excited. But I'm starting to realize how important it is not to share everything because a lot of people are stalking. A lot of people could know where you live, could know where you're going, how's your day's been, and it's important for a lot of younger kids to be careful what they post because there are a lot of predators out there that unfortunately are not safe in today's society. So you have to be really, really careful about what you're posting, where you're going out to eat, where you live, where's your address. So and it is true for us adults too. We have to be careful. And I say to every staff member here at K.L.P Entertainment, when I have their information, I say, do not share this information with anybody else. I don't share any of my information. I don't share you my address of my house, what kind of car I drive. Even though maybe I'm sharing me washing the car, you can pretty much tell what car I drive. But I don't share my license plate. I don't share my driver's license information. Definitely, and I know this, and this definitely don't show my social security number out there in the world. So, those are just private informations that you guys should keep for yourself. And I say to a lot of younger kids, please don't share information like that online, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, or even Facebook. And I don't think younger kids, and again, not to sound like a drag or an old man, but I don't think a lot of younger kids get on Facebook nowadays. I think it's all about Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, which I'm also available on those three. I love those three. So I just say to a lot of younger kids, please be careful about where you're going. Make sure you have an adult with you. Be sure not to share any private information, whether it's where you live, where you go to school. We don't want to know what school you're going to, unless if you're going to a university, because honestly, I did share that I went to GGC. I did share that I'm going to work for Emory. I did share that stuff, but that stuff is okay, kind of. But if you're sharing, I go to Belmont Elementary School. I am in Miss Lancer's class in the 6th grade. Stuff like that you don't need to share. Because a lot of young kids want to share things, and they want to share their phone numbers, and they want to share all of their social media accounts and stuff like that. Be careful about who you share that to. Make sure it's on private. I say to a lot of younger kids, and a lot of us older adults, our social media is not private. I'll be honest, my social media is not really private, where people can search me up and look me up and go through my profile. I don't care about none of that really, because I'm an adult man. But another tip for a lot of younger kids, if you're young, because nowadays we're in this, again, not to sound like an old man, but we're in this generation where a lot of us younger kids are posting things and their account's not private. I say to a lot of younger kids, keep your Instagram private for now, so that way predators are not looking at you. Make sure strangers are not looking at you. Make sure that it's only your friends and family that's looking at your Instagram. If you are a younger kid, it's just a safety measure. I advocate safety to all kids out there because predators are out there. They are out there, and they've done some weird, freaky, you know what I mean. I had to keep the show clean, but there's a lot of weird stuff that goes around in this lifetime, in this society. So I say to a lot of younger kids, keep your Instagram private, keep your Snapchat private if you have one, even keep your TikTok private if you have one, because you don't want nobody checking you out that you don't know. As you grow up, you become an adult, because I'm an adult and my Instagram's not private. Anyone can search my Instagram up. They can't hack my Instagram, but they can search my Instagram up and they can see what I post. They can see what I'm doing in media purposes, or a selfie that I post. They can see all that, and that's fine because I'm an adult man. But if I was in 5th grade, and gosh, it felt like a lifetime ago. If I was in the 5th grade, if Instagram was popping back when I was in 5th grade. Again, not trying to sound like an old man, but I probably would have kept my Instagram private, simply because there's a lot of craziness out there in the world. So we just live in a different time. So I just say to a lot of my younger audiences, if you're listening to me, keep your Instagram private, keep your social media private. Don't share a lot of things out there. And that was a great post that the officer posted for that, for sure, because safety is the number one priority. So that's going to wrap it up here on the talk show and also on the podcast show. I say talk show, but it's really a podcast. That's going to wrap it up here on today's show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's show. Please be sure to tune in Monday, September 13th. K.L.P Aftermath will be premiering that day. And I can't wait to come to the mic again, live from Emory University, so that way I can podcast to you guys out there in the media. If you haven't followed me on my social media accounts, which is not private, it's public, go check out our social media accounts, and please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channels over at Daily Motion and YouTube at K.L.P Entertainment. So that's going to wrap it up here on air with your host, K.L.P. As always, remember to stay safe, practice social distancing, and stay swanky.